Hello everyone, this is Zeeebo and welcome back to yet another AFK journey video. So in today's AFK journey video, we are going to talk about the essence, more specifically the red, yellow as well as blue essence. So your Twilight, your Temporal as well as your Tidal essence. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about where you can get them, right? How do you obtain them? How much do you need to level up your EX weapon, as well as whether or not there's a need for you to save these stones, according to some of the comment section that was asked to me in the past few days. Okay, so first of all, let's start off with the Temporal as well as the Tidal essence, because they're quite binded together. So the most common source of getting these essences is actually from getting your daily ranks in your dream realm. So this is where you get your constant source of essences used to level up your equipment. So for Tidal, you use it to unlock EX weapon 0 to 5, and then for Temporal, you use it to unlock EX weapon 6 to 15. Okay, so these two essences are really important, at least for most players, because the red essence, I'll say it's more for the whales, more for the heavy spenders that goes for like that little bit of stats advantage in the long run. But in most cases, the blue and the yellow one will be the most important, and securing a good rank on your dream realm will ensure that you have a constant source of these stones in the long run. So that's one way you can get them. The other way you can get these stones is through Spiral Abyss over here. So I'm done with Spiral Abyss, but yesterday I cleared through the Spiral Abyss. I also uploaded a video with regards to Spiral Abyss, sharing my personal opinions as well as the resources you will get after you clear this content. So I'll link it in the card above as well as the description down below. Feel free to check it out to see more of this content as well as the rewards you can get in terms of the essence. So the last way you can get your Tidal essence is obviously through your Emporium shop. So you can purchase it with gems on a daily basis. Personally, I think if you're somebody who wants to rush out your EX weapon, if you're somebody who is rushing to get everything maxed out ASAP, you can buy it to stock up first, because the initial usage for Tidal essence will be quite massive. However, if you're talking about in terms of long run, I honestly don't encourage anybody to buy, because you will get this naturally by clearing Dream Realm, right? As long as you're progressing, as long as you're getting a rank on Dream Realm, the Tidal Essence income is pretty secure, so you will be able to build up a stash eventually. And this explains why I have a huge stash over here, because I'm not able to pump out every unit, right? Even for somebody who has a pretty developed account, you won't be able to pump out all your units. So there's no need for you to actually buy all the Tidal essence from the shop unless you are preparing for a hero, unless you know a hero is coming. So that's where the second part of this video matters, because you know how much Tidal essence you need in order to push from EX0 to EX5. In fact, you don't need a lot. You only need like, I think 75. No, you need 150 based on the information here. So later on, I'll showcase the life upgrade from 0 to 5, and then I also talk about the amount of essences you need to upgrade from 6 to 15 as well. So for the last stone, right, this Twilight Essence, you can get it from the Champions Arena, right? So you can just get it from the Champions Arena as a weekly reward. So as long as you're securing, I think, a top 100 finish, you will be able to secure yourself up to 3 Twilight Essence. So Twilight Essence is for EX weapon 16 to 25. To be really honest with you guys, I think this is pretty much like your whales type of thing. Like it, I mean, for free-to-play players or low spenders, you will be able to build up a stash, right? You'll be able to sort of build up a stash of Twilight Essence, which you won't be using, and then eventually you might have a unit that you want. You might have a unit that you want to upgrade, so you will use this to upgrade from 16 to 20, because 20 to 25 is a massive gap. You need a lot of Twilight Essence, and in the past they used to sell this Twilight Essence in the shop with, you can buy it with cash, but right now it's not sold, right? So the only way you can get it right now is from Arena, and if they do decide to give it in the future. So it's a very rare resource that I'll say you need very careful planning to use. So that's something I got to say. So you get it from your first time rewards, as you guys can see. So you get all these respective ranks, and then you get the Temporal Essence as well as the Twilight Essence. But for most players, right, Temporal Essence will be the more important one. It will be something that you will lack the most, because the gap from 6 to 15 is much bigger, and you need a lot more Temporal Essence compared to your Tidal Essence. So Tidal Essence will usually be in an abundance. So if you are getting constantly top 20 of your server, with your constant source of tidal and your temporal essence, right, you eventually build up a stash of tidal essence nonetheless. For the temporal one, because there will be a deficit, so you guys will realize it's really very important to secure a decent rank in Dream Realm in the long run, because this will be your only way to get tempora other than the last way, which is buy it directly from the shop. So obviously there are a bunch of packages that sells all these resources. So we have your special offers, as you guys can see over here, right? Raid Up is here, and then we have some which specifically sells the stones over here, as you guys can see. So the exclusive equipment bundle 2, the Stargaze Station bundle also sells this. So these are the few ways you can get it. So these are from the bi-weekly. You can obviously buy more from the weekly Dazzling Stone bundle as well. So these are a few ways you can get more stones from pay to win methods. Okay, but in most cases, even if you're free to play, you should be able to still save up these essences. So I'll use this account to talk about the upgrading amount and the where you use the stones on. Okay, so let's go into my units. Let's start with a unit which I haven't upgraded the ascension skills. Okay, so for the tidal essence, you use it to upgrade your hero focus skill. So over here, your hero focus is basically a skill you unlock once you unlock the unit to legend plus. So over here, so let's say if I go into Salazzle, right, once you reach legendary plus, you unlock hero focus. So hero focus is basically an additional skill which provides stats buff for your unit. So different units will get different sort of stats buff, and some of these stats buffs can make a huge impact of a unit in terms of increasing their power level, because some of this hero focus skill is pretty imba, especially the haste one. Okay, so over here you will take about 30 to upgrade, so 10 for the level 2 and then another 20 for the level 3. So I would say that you pretty much have to spend the tidal essence for this one, because this skill is quite important to ensure that your unit is at the max power level. Sorry for the phlegm building up. So that's for the ascension side. Next, let's move on to the EX weapon. So over here, I have a few units which I haven't upgraded the EX weapon. My dear Valen at Supreme Plus. So over here, right, EX weapon 0. So when you unlock the unit all the way to Mythic Plus, you unlock the EX weapon, which is the level 1 skill. So once you unlock the skill, the EX weapon to level 5, you unlock the second one. Once you unlock the EX weapon to level 10, you unlock the third one. And then once you unlock EX15, that will be your last skill. So that's why I say the Tempora, the yellow stone, as well as the Tidal Essence, which is the blue stone, they're the more important one, because these stones are the one that unlocks the skills for the EX weapon for your unit. Anything beyond that is just additional stats. So I'll showcase the additional stats portion for the EX20 as well as 25 later on, right? It's very minor, but I'll just talk about it. So over here, once you come to this page, when you click on Enhance, right, over here, you start off with 10 Tidal Essence, so 10, right? Every level increases by 10, so 20, that's 30, right? That's 60, that's 110, and, sorry, that's 100, and this 150. So as you guys can see over here, right, it will take you 150 Tidal Essence to level up your EX weapon from EX0 to EX5. I'm not gonna waste my stone for this one. So from here, moving forward, you'll start off at 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, right, for the yellow color one. So I'm gonna go into a unit which I have at a higher EX weapon. Over here. Although this EX5. Okay, so you go into Vala's case, right? So over here, Vala at EX8 to EX9 is 20, EX9 to EX10 is 25. So this will cost you a total of 75 temporal essence. So I'll include all the stone costs on the screen, right hand side, so you guys can refer to yourself. And the biggest jump is actually from EX11 to EX15. So if I go into Sisia, for example, right? So Sisia, EX10 to EX11 is 30, EX11 to EX12 is 35, 40, 45, 50, as you guys can see from the data on show on top. So I'm going to show a unit which I'm building up. So Korean is over here. So EX12 to 13 is 40, right? 13 to 14 is 45, and then 14 to 50 is 50. So this will cost you 200 temporal stones. So from EX6 to EX15, you need 275. So I'll say from a free-to-play perspective, right? I'll be honest with you guys, from a free-to-play perspective, I don't think EX15 should be something that you'll be looking at, because the cost is just so big. The cost of upgrading from EX10 to EX15 is the cost of roughly like 3 EX10 weapons for other units. So as a free-to-play player, if you are not getting a lot of this essence, you kind of just want to upgrade your unit to EX10 and then get the second skill, which is, I think, more than sufficient in terms of getting the units up to a certain power level. So what's the difference between EX10 and EX15? Obviously, number one, you get more skill, right? So over here, you unlock a level 4 skill. That's number one. Number two, there's a stats difference between the EX10 as well as the EX15. So on screen, I'll include the EX weapon stats for Corin, for EX10, and then EX15. So obviously, these stats will play a matter in terms of the units doing more damage, or doing more healing, or doing more of what it wants to do. But the issue with it is that I think the cost of upgrading between 5 to 10 to 11 to 15, I think is not very significant if you're free to play. You did rather have more units at EX10 compared to having like one unit at EX15. Obviously, there will be certain units where their EX skills are more impactful. That's where you save up and then you pump them up to EX15. So I'll cover this EX weapon priority, the upgrading priority, in another video. So do remember to like and subscribe in order to see more with regards to the EX weapon prioritization, guys. So that's for the prioritization part. So I'll say this is quite the expensive process, especially for EX11 to EX15, right? This 200 temporal stone is massive, because even with a consistent income from Dream Realm at 4, right? So if you are consistently in top 10, you're securing 4 essence over here, you will still need about 50 days. For EX11 to 15, you still need roughly about 270 divide, you need roughly about 50 over days for the overall upgrade. So it takes quite a while for just one EX weapon to reach EX15 if you are free to play, trying to build up from the Dream Realm resources when you're ranked 1 to 10. So take note, this is quite a jump. Okay, but the impact is quite significant in terms of the stats boost, as well as some units having a massive power spike once they unlock the level 4 skills. So that's for the temporal side. Now let's talk about the last topic, which is the Twilight Essence, the red color one. So over here, I do have a unit at EX20. I'll be really honest with you guys. I think Twilight Essence is not that massive, because the stats that it gives is quite mediocre. In a sense, every level increase gives you 2% stats. So as you guys can see, right, it's a 0.5% stat increase across the levels. So if you factor in the cost to actually upgrade it, right, upgrading from EX20 to 25 is really like a whales thing. And in the past, they did sell this Twilight Essence, so I'm not able to take a screenshot and then capture it. So some of the older, like, massive spender in the game, in the PDR server, will have quite a high level EX weapon. So that is in the past. But honestly speaking, even for them, they also say that EX20 to 25 is not that big of a change. In fact, EX15 to 20 is not that big of a stats boost as well, like if you factor in the cost. And the thing is, the more important one will be from EX1 to EX15, because the jump in terms of the stats will be more massive, and it gives you the EX skill. So for the Twilight side, I think even if you're not getting a consistent source, it's still fine, because it's really like the mega endgame stuff. It's like the mega wheelie stuff. People that are spending in the game, they'll definitely get more from the arena side, and people with the comms, people that are at the top of the rankings, they will definitely get more naturally from the arena side. So this is how it looks like, 0.5% stats. Let's go into a weapon that's an EX15. So I'm merely at 20 as well. So as you guys can see, it's all 0.5. So it's a 2.5 increase in stats. So if you guys have an EX15 merely, this is 25%. This is I think this is 31% or 36%, I think, right? So overall, every increase after EX15 will be 0.5% stats across the board. So it's the same throughout for the different units. It's just, I'll say, a good 5% stats across the 4 different lines. So we have Arden over here, right, as you guys can see. So this EX15 to EX16. So 0.5, 0.5. I think I'll say in terms of how you want to use the stones, a Tidal Essence will definitely be in an abundance. Just use it whenever you need to upgrade a unit. If you are getting a good rank in Dream Realm, you will build up a stats eventually. As for the temporal one, I think for most low spenders, for somebody who doesn't really buy these stones from the shop itself, upgrading the stones, upgrading your unit to EX10 would be sufficient. Not all unit need EX15 to function. For example, like Torrent, EX10 to EX15, the buff that you get is not that big. I think 5% is okay, but if you take a look at the stats that you get, it's only 2 lines worth of stats, so it's not that worth it on all the units. So there's really no rush for you to actually jump into like leveling these EX weapons, depending on how you look at it. If you're somebody who looks at the cost to upgrade as well as the results you will get, I'll say just look at, you know, what the EX weapon upgrade offers for that unit they are trying to upgrade. So obviously I will talk about the EX weapon priority like I mentioned earlier in another video coming up in the next few days, so stay tuned for that. And then for the Twilight Essence one, I'll say this is a very, very expensive resource, so use it on units which you will be using a lot for the different game modes, number one, because these stats, basic stats, they do affect Dream Realm, they do affect Arena, they do affect all the different game modes. So you kind of want to let these bonus stats benefit units which you are already using a lot. So most people's case, I think EX20 Merrily will be the go-to, because Merrily is pretty much used in every Dream Realm team, and it's your consistent source of getting more essence income. So obviously spending the Twilight Essence to get more stats so you have a better chance to do better damage is definitely a good way of investing your Twilight Essence. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this Essence guide. Hopefully it's clear cut for you guys in terms of how you want to use your Essence. Do stay tuned for the EX weapon prioritization guide coming up in the next few days. And thank you very much for watching. Do remember to like and subscribe in order to see more, and I'll see you guys again in my next video. Bye guys!